Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video, I've got a tournament game for you guys that I played against Alexander. And I mean, you might have seen the thumbnail already, but I'm going to leave it until, well, the actual cards show up later on to show you what this game has in store. Now, Alexander here goes for Quick Supply Specialist with Tarantula and Fang. Very strong pack. Spider currently probably one of the best units in the game paired with Phoenix. Very, very powerful on aggro. Super good scaling. So, yeah, pretty scary. I decided to get an Elite Specialist because, well, on the given day, I hadn't actually played Elite Specialist yet. And I just can't go without, you know. Like, I have to play it at least once in the day if it shows up. And so, yeah, here we go. Little risky, perhaps, in a tournament setting. Although I say that, I actually truly do believe that Elite is a good pack. Or a good specialist, and I've played it a lot, so I have some confidence here. We are in a bit of a mirror, and it seems like we will even be on the same side of the board. I'm going to go for double crawler here. I need to get some chaff. I already have my DPS, my tankiness, my chaff clear from the starter, so that's what I am going to pick up. Nice thing about elite crawlers is that they actually don't get one-shot by Tarantula. The only thing on round 1 that can one-shot them is sledgehammers, but yeah, there are none of those in the game currently. Opponent will use some of his quick supply already, 150 to be precise, to buy another Fang here on the left, defending his tower, and buy a Phoenix as well. So let's see how this goes. Marksman for now, not really locking on to the spiders as I would hope. And yeah, the spiders here actually getting stuck on the enemy spiders, but that does mean that my crawlers managed to get in, and well, crawlers actually have really high DPS. You just don't really get to see it that often. But here you do. And I will, in fact, be able to win the first round. Despite the spider locks looking kind of horrible there, it does work in our favor. And I'm pretty happy with that because my opponent spent 150 on round 1. Now, of course, I'm elite spec. I spent 100 on round 1, so like it's not or 100 more. So it's not like that big of a difference, but still a nice thing considering my opponent is relatively low on hit points. Round number 2, extended range Phoenix shows up. Not really something I would consider, but my opponent could pick it up. I'm not planning to go into Phoenix. I've got my marksman, and I might think about buying some Mustang here. Mustang very nice with levels, and therefore very nice to play with something like the Elite Specialist. And yeah, opponent here will pick it up. The other cards, a little bit too early. Elite Rhinos doesn't make sense. I can buy level 2 Rhinos if I want to. Improved War Factory is a little too telegraphed. And I kind of just want to skip. Now, either here I can go Crawler with a Tarantula, or I can just go double Crawler, something of the sort. I could even go like Mustang Crawler if I want to, but I'm just going to prioritize Chaff for now. Kind of do want to try to attack the left tower if I can. There is a Fang pack there, but it should fall relatively quick. And I wanted to fix the right side and prevent these Phoenixes from insta-locking my spiders, so I'm going to put the Crawler up front. I like to make sure that it does split up, just to make it a little bit less easy to clear the whole pack. Whereas if all of them get funneled straight towards one Fang pack, then the spiders have an easier time clearing them. Always want to try and split up your crawlers as much as you can, which is why like a lot of people put them behind units so they kind of get pushed around, or like behind towers. Just a good thing to do. Opponent will go for a mid flank here, which will pull some of my crawlers, but not too much from the looks of it. I might just add like a Mustang there or Crawler. Probably will get beaconed kind of back and up, which is something that you can use to your advantage whenever anyone is kind of positioned on the outside of the board. Tends to pull away a lot of chaff and even some of the more important units. But here, not that big of a deal. And we get the left tower as we were hoping, and the marksmen are going to be able to take down those Phoenixes, of which he took another one. So pretty happy with that. Did take that extended range Phoenix. That might allow him to get into charge shot without really needing the range, since we are in a short range scenario. And now round number 3, we get unit reinforcements. There is Quad Hound, Fire Badger, Phantom Ray, and Raiden. I was thinking about Raiden here. Good into Fire Badger, good into Phantom Ray. Somewhat decent into Phoenix. Can sometimes scam them, but not very good into Tarantula. And Giants are, well, expensive on Elite, so not very easy to purchase more of them in the short term. A Hound, that's a lot of deployments. And with Fangs up front, doesn't look too bad. I would be able to kind of, yeah, add more chaff to the board without necessarily needing Tarantulas, which are more vulnerable to charge shot Phoenix. And also fix this this flank that's incoming. So I kind of like that. Phantom Ray, not great into Phoenix. I am expecting charge shots, so it probably wouldn't do too well. Fire Badger, though, is a consideration. Could try and go for that if I want to. But I think eventually we're going to settle for the Hounds here. It's probably between these two, though. Just take the Chaff Gear units and take something that's slightly less vulnerable to the charge shot Phoenixes that I was expecting. Lots of Chaff already here on the right side for my opponent. It is now mounting an attack on the left with that Fire Badger pack he picked up. A Crawler, a Phoenix, so this definitely will be winning. And we're just going to go for the Hounds. So deal with that flank. Kind of position them here on the outsides to deal with these Fang packs. And then we have one here in front of the tower to try and delay whatever's coming our way. I wasn't necessarily expecting him to commit this hard, but it does make some sense considering there was a unit drop. And I'm going to purchase another Crawler here to try and protect my units from getting missiled or insta-locked, and then also buy a Mustang, which I think is pretty good into Phoenixes. And just generally speaking, should do well here. With the levels, they definitely even can contest the Spiders, as long as those don't level. And it gives me some resilience against air units in the long run. Like WASP drops aren't too uncommon, so would give me an edge going forward. Left side does end up falling. Marksman here doing its best. Mustangs will get rid of most of the Phoenixes, but man, those Badgers are a little scary. We do get the debuff, but sadly for us, one of the Fire Badgers has other plans and we'll go for our tower, get that debuff, which slows down our DPS significantly. And while we kill everything else, this Fire Badger will kill my remaining Tarantulas. So a close round, but Alexander does take it. Mind you, we are very healthy still, though. That's the nice thing about Elite. One of its many benefits is you start with a load of hit points. And, well, when on round 4 you get offered Super Supply on 5.2k hit points, it's hard to pass upon. I did consider the other options as well, though, because they are very good. Additional deployment slot here, definitely pickable. It's what Alexander goes for. He is slightly lower on health, though. But, yeah, I felt like on 5.2k hit points here, I always take it. Maybe if I was, like, at 3k hit points, I would pick the additional deployment. Because we are in a bit of a, like, high-tempo game on the line where one of us can quickly get ahead if things go wrong. So spending money on such an expensive card can be detrimental, but here I felt like I had the hit points to be able to afford that and even take some losses. Another Mustang pack going to be picked up. Again, good into the Phoenixes, good into the frontline Fangs. Left side, just going to level the tower, get rid of that Crawler, try to delay as much as possible. And now we have a beacon the other way around, trying to pull away my Mustangs, which does work, but not sure it does that much. I mean, eventually my units are just going to go forward like they would otherwise. Might pull them apart, though, and prevent the DPS units from really connecting with this, but you can see how much of the damage these Mustangs are doing because they're level 2. That Spider just gone in an instant. Left side will fall again. Not the best tower debuff. Marksman here in a bit of trouble. And I do see some of these Tarantulas now ready to level. We will take out a couple of Phoenixes, but only a couple Mustangs left. We do take out one more, but looks like the Fire Badgers will prevail again. Not too bad, though. I mean, this is not that much damage. Again, 5k hit points. We're going to go down to about 5k there. And I did pick up the Super Supply, whereas my opponent didn't. So we've got that benefit going forward. Now, round number 5... the board will accelerate as we have unit reinforcements. Yet again. Wraith, Void Eye, Steel Ball, Wasp. Opponent here goes for the Wraith. Now, Chaff Gear honestly was kind of fine on my side. And I was expecting my opponent to go Wraith. Because it's just good into like high level Chaff, these Crawlers, it's good into the Hounds. And overall deals with most of these things. Steel Ball's okay, but not into high-level Phoenixes. Void Eyes need a lot of investment. They are a consideration. They've got good DPS, so they are nice against like the high-level Tarantulas, but a little tricky to play and require a lot of investment. So I actually think, well, all of the things offered here lose to carry Wasp, and my opponent's board also loses to it, right? Like Phoenixes aren't good into Wasp, so if he goes Wraith and he actually invests more into it, I might be able to get away with like range and AA. Of course, I don't have the money for it now, and I'm just going to go for range, but that should be enough considering my opponent here didn't range his own Wraith. We're going to stack them here on the left side, and the good thing is I'm elite. So being able to grab those wasps at level 2 does make a big difference. And yeah, here we go. Double wasp pickup. I actually sell out of the Mustang because with my setup, I am not going to need those stangs, and I don't really want them to feed the ground units anymore than I need to. And we're just going to transition into, yeah, full wasp carry here. I do run that HE so I can shaft clear, and that means the Mustangs are not necessary. Let's see how this goes. For now, though, my shaft clear isn't the best. I mean, I've got the hounds, I've got some tarantulas, so we do okay. Range here is enough alongside the marksman to get rid of the Wraith. Left side doing well, just a wasp pack left and some phoenixes, so we should win that. Right side, a little tricky. Those high-level tarantulas are tanky, and looks like we will be losing a tower. But not before at least taking down another spider. We are moving into the tower on the left as well. If we can just manage to get as much experience as possible, because I can see some of the wasps here are leveling, and limit the damage taken, then I'll be pretty happy. We'll take out another Phoenix, and then, yeah, round will be going over to Alexander. Now we go down to 4k hit points, but that's still pretty healthy, and we've got a good setup now for what we want to do. Round number 6, advanced targeting system could be a consideration, but considering we're in a low-range scenario, I didn't really want to spend the money, and I know that this comp is very money-hungry, especially on Elite. I'm going to need lots and lots and lots of things, so yeah, I'm just going to skip, and instead I'm going to triple tech my Wasp already on round 6, picking up all the levels, picking up high explosive to deal with all these crawlers, and also these Mustangs that are getting picked up, and then AA to deal with the Wraith and the enemy Phoenixes. I felt like my opponent didn't really have a way out of air. Even if he didn't invest more into them, he would always have some air units remaining, so the AA seemed like a good idea. And then on top of that, if he did range the Wraith, it would be in trouble, so that's why we go for this. It does delay the Elite spec, though, or the Elite Marksman, which is something I would want down the line, but oh well. EMP picked up from my opponent, will hit some of my Wasp, so left side might struggle. We go for another Tarantula on the left, just as some frontline, before I get into, like, worms, which is going to be the choice now that I see these triple blue Mustangs with range that were picked up. Was a bit surprised when I saw this, because I wasn't expecting him to have that type of money, but selling the Wraith actually did allow him to get into this. And yeah, right side now kind of struggling, and we'll need those sandworms as quick as possible. And I guess that what we will be doing is replacing our tarantulas with those sandworms to try and get Sandstorm to proc and kind of even the playing field between the Mustangs and the Wasps. And sadly, we almost could have scammed, but a couple of Stangs left and the Fangs as well, so we take a little bit more damage. And then round number 7. Efficient Giant Manufacturing on the Elite I don't particularly like. It's quite hard to spam Giants, so it's hard to get value out of that card. Improved Sandworm, though, I don't think this is a very good card typically, but I am Elite, and I have no choice but to buy worms at level 2 anyway. And this turn, I would have only been able to basically buy 2 worms anyway, without loaning, and also getting the Sandstorm. So I decided to pick up the Improved Sandworm, which gives 3 speed, that's not very important, 40% attack, which is kind of nice against the big targets, like the spiders, and 5 meters of splash for 100 extra resources per worm. So I pay 700 instead of 600, but I get a whole bunch of stats. And I think here it's good, because I never would have been able to spend those 200 resources I otherwise would have kept on anything as significant as this massive boost, right? 40% attack on a level 2 worm, that's quite a lot. And the 5 meter splash is going to be somewhat useful against things like, yeah, I mean, Mustangs and chaff in general. And yeah, I felt like going for it here was the right move. I do pick up Sandstorm as well. This is going to reduce the range, hopefully, of those Mustangs, which is important because opponent already has the second tech now with the aerial specialization. And yeah, you can see I sold out of the spiders there, and I'm going to be replacing them with the sandworms. Opponent here flanking with a crawler. Wasps will deal with that, but they are getting delayed. Lucky for me, though, no massive damage units on the board just yet. I mean, high-level Phoenix, but no charge shot as of yet, so looks like we should be able to get in. Phoenix's left side getting absolutely crushed, so that's looking good. Right side, struggling. Definitely struggling, and we will be losing a tower from the looks of things. We get the debuff first, which is not ideal, because we're not really able to do anything with it. Now, as the worm is traveling, these Mustangs are going to lock onto my Wasp, sadly, and we have a crawler pack moving to our second tower, which is not looking too good. Worm actually managed to get a level, which is quite surprising. And we will lose the round, but I think the setup here is kind of fine. We just need to reinforce the right side if we can. Round number 8, Ion Blast shows up. Have to pick that. Very cheap, and I mean, look at this line of units that my opponent has. Definitely think that this spell here is better for me than it is for him. He could try and hit some of my Wasps, but not very easy to hit the Sandworms, which are invulnerable when they are beneath the ground. And I mean, the other units don't really matter that much. You can kill my Marksmen or my Hounds. They're not that important. Going to start loaning now. I do have that super supply advantage, so... And it's already round 8, so that makes sense. And here I was kind of trying to look at what I wanted to do. I first sell my left Tarantula because it's worth more, but then I do the math and I think to myself, well, I can just sell the level 1 that's on the right side, make some space, and add a worm there. Because we need to reinforce the right side from what we saw. And so, yeah, the undo button there, coming in clutch. And I keep my left Tarantula, buy 2 more Sandworms, and we reinforce the right side of the board. Opponent here goes for Charge Shot Phoenix, as we expected. A bit late, but should allow him to deal with the Sandworms a bit easier. And then we also have the Acid Explosion on the Crawlers. I actually did not see that he was running this. It's kind of uncommon these days, but that is somewhat annoying. Because there's no way to Photon Worms apart from the item. They burrow too quick. And then when they're underground, they cannot receive the Photon buff. And then on top of that, it's very hard to get access to Photon on Elite. Because, well, Boat is very expensive. And Farseer, you have to just get lucky with from a drop. I am trying to get the levels here as much as I can. Although I say that. I actually did miss one on the Wasp. But I guess it doesn't matter too much. Wasp here dying to that beam immediately. Also, fire getting used by my opponent. Lit by those fire badgers that he took on round 3, I believe it was. Right side, though, doing great. Ion Beam favoring us a lot, allowing us to get in. And it looks like the Sandworms that have been added made a big, big difference. And now I'm thinking, well, I do have some Hounds without tech, so maybe we just click Fire Extinguisher to get rid of the acid, because it doesn't just get rid of fire, it can also get rid of acid. You just don't see that very often, because acid is far less common of a mechanic. And round number 9, I mean, look at that. Another Ion Blast. Yeah, well, duplicate spells. It is a thing. So, I'm just going to pick that yet again. Same thing to aim for. Opponents here maybe could have tried to mobile beacon these units back. They are quite close together, so I think that's what he should do. Whether he'll do so, we'll have to see. We also use our own fire. Hopefully hitting these Mustangs on the left and setting it on fire with his own badgers. And then we're going to pick Fire Extinguisher, which hopefully will get rid of the acid around the worms and allow some of them at least to survive a bit longer. Picking up the spells here, or the levels on the Wasp as much as we can. Still a little bit too early to be able to afford Elite Marksman, but that is something we'd like to work towards. Mobile Beacon here towards the left, because I did expect him to EMP these Wasps. So let's get one outside, and in the meantime, we also dodge at least part of the Ion Beam from the looks of it. And with our money, we take another loan. Temp range, important for the Wasps. And then we also buy another Sandworm on the left side of the board. And that'll be all she wrote for now. Scorpion showing up for the opponent with double shot. I was a bit surprised about this. It's a good pairing with the acid crawlers, I guess. So it's okay into the Sandworms. But he already had Charge Shot Phoenix. I guess he didn't really want to invest more into those because of the AA on the Wasp. But I was a bit surprised about double shot. I think maybe something like Fortress would have made more sense. Also provides good damage and might even be able to kill some of the Wasp with the AA tech. Left side, we do set the board on fire, so all of those Mustangs are gone, which should allow these Wasps to get in. Beam is insane for us here. And it looks like we'll even be able to keep some of our worms alive, which means a lot of damage going the way of Alexander this round. Of course, also the wasps here leveling, which is crucial for that final tech elite marksman that we still want to tech. And yeah, you can see some hounds here even surviving until the very end, able to get rid of some of that acid. So pretty happy with that pickup too. Cheap tech and seems to have done a decent job. Now the opponent is pretty low on hit points, 339. We just have to get one final push in. And round number 10, Fortress here shows up. I am expecting my opponent to pick this. Maybe go for the AA tech. So with that in mind, I might just pick the Phantom Rays. They're not great into Charge Shot Phoenix or the high-level Mustangs. But if I can just prevent the AA missiles from going straight onto my Wasp, I think I should be fine. So we just pick them up, don't do anything special with them. And we finally pick up that final tech on our Wasps, which is going to be the Elite Marksman. More damage, more range, always good. Lone, temp range, important. And now we're just going to pick up more crawlers. I don't really have money for more worms. And we're going to try and missile here as many of the crawler packs as we can. Seems like the opponent kind of thought about that though. Puts down a missile interceptor there. And we kind of try to do the same thing with shields. Attempted to protect some of our crawlers from getting missiled. And I do put some crawlers in front as well though, because I didn't want these phoenixes to instantly lock the shield and one-shot it because of charge shot. But yeah, I have a lot of faith in my board here. It looked really strong last turn, even if there wasn't an Ion Blast involved. So just getting the Elite Marksman, building a little bit more chaff here, I felt like should do the trick. Lots of missile interceptors for the opponent. Also goes for a couple missiles himself, which will block part of. Some of them just going to go into those newly added crawlers, but not too bad. And let's see. Sandworms unburrowing. Creating those sandstorms. Burrowing, unburrowing again. Refreshing the sandstorms. And some of the Mustangs are sitting outside, but now that we're moving in, we're getting closer. Sandstorm should start to form. Although right side, it seems like we did lose most of our worms. Actually, all of them. But left side here prevails. We're getting in. Only a couple of Mustang packs left. And I mean, look at that damage of the Scaled Wasps. These aren't even improved. The only thing that's improved here are going to be the Sandworms. And with 2 left alive and 339 for my opponents, I think that's just going to be enough. The Wasps even will be able to clean it up before the Sandworms need to do so. And that is going to be the game. So, yeah. Another nice carry Wasp game. I tried to play this comp 3 times on the day that I played this. It didn't go well the first 2 games, but hey, 3rd time's the charm and in the tournament as well, so that was very nice. Elite does help a lot here. Super Supply, having that when the opponent didn't pick it also did help because we made it to round 10, so big advantage. And yeah, getting the levels on the Wasp immediately, being able to make that transition. I think Improved Sandworm in this one scenario actually was pretty good, mostly because I was Elite and I had to buy expensive Sandworms anyway, so having to pay 700 instead of 600, not too bad for the amount of stats that we gained, and I think they did very, very well in the end. Couple of like cute moves here. Sprinkler Hounds into the acid I think did fine. The spells obviously helped a lot with closing out the game early. I mean, those ion beams were nasty considering the opponent's board. But yeah, we do manage to get there. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think of this. Have you played Improved Sandworm, even with Mech Rage perhaps? Make sure to post it. If you want to stay up to date with latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care guys and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.